start that right now so I don't miss it. Man, this is close, Elizabeth, to having a full studio of either ukulele players or accordion players.
Yes, I remember that well.
In early years, folks, Elizabeth would have, I had to have been 30 or 40 ukulele players come into our radio station. We were over on Santa Barbara Street, and there was barely room to strum the strings in the room when they played. And the same thing with the accordion players. But it was fun. Ah, yes, I miss those days. Oh, let's see here.
Richard, I need to leave 5 minutes early.
Oh, well then
So
let me get the
10:55.
log. Let me get the log squared away for our early departure. Stand by there. I'll let you. It'll be all set up for. Excuse me. I'll have it all set up for your early departure at 5 of.
Okay.
And I'm going to reduce the breaks down to 2. So we'll take one at 25 and one at 45. Okay.
Okay.
If I can get in there, what's the going on? What's the going on? Okay. Well, if I have to do that, that's fine. I'm going to do that. All right. Reboot the computer. That's the standard thing. All right. And how do you reboot the computer on a car? You pull the battery.
So we're going to talk with Chella first. And hi, everybody. I see everybody. So we're talking with Chella. Where's Chella? There she is. We'll talk with Chella first. And then we're going to go to probably 10:15, 10:20. Richard will do a break at that point, and then we'll switch over to our thespians. And then probably, what we should do is have Claudia just do a little bit of a rundown of the program, and then who's with us a little bit. So there's a rundown of the program, and then some of her actors who are with us today, just quickly introduce, and then I'll take it from there and start some questions.
By the way, what's the etymology of thespian? What language? Is that Greek?
Yes, Greek.
Epharisto.
Yeah.
Baklava.
And Richard, I think, any kind of bluegrass music is good.
Oh, all right. Let me see what I can do for you there.
Okay.
I can come up with something here in just a little bit. That actually gives me 20 minutes to come up with that. So perfect. Let's go ahead first. Let's get the log squared away first. Da, 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 da. Come on. It's Christmas time in the city. All right, stand by.
9.
Here we go. Amazing, isn't it?
Welcome to the Arts and Antique Radio Show, where your host, nationally recognized certified appraiser Elizabeth Stewart, Santa Barbara's treasure sleuth, will help you put a value on the treasures in your own home.
Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven?
So let's find out.
2,
How valuable is it?
You are live.
Hello, Santa Barbara. It's your chantress of everything valuable and beautiful, Elizabeth Stewart. And a number of years ago, I think it was during COVID, my good friend Claudia McGarry brought a fellow writer to the show, Chella Courington. And I thought, wow, this is an incredibly intelligent and brilliant woman. And actually, Claudia said she's written a new book. And so I wanted to see what the book was all about. And so today we have Chella Courington on the air with us today. And also we're going to have Claudia and her gang because Claudia is doing something really special. You know, she's a playwright, and she's doing a full day of her own plays. And how cool is that going to be? And so we're going to talk a little bit about what she's bringing. And we have a number of her actors with us today, which is really exciting. If you guys could see what I see, we're on the Zoom screen, but the whole screen is filled up with wonderful Claudia's actors. So first, we're going to talk a little bit with Chella Courington, and just a little introduction. Chella is incredibly well educated. She grew up in Appalachia, and she actually has written a number of books. And I had the great pleasure of looking into a couple of the books that she's written over time, and read some of the reviews. Hearts Forged in Resistance was one that really kind of caught my attention. It's a book of poetry, and it's resistance to many things, but death, memory, loyalty, etc. And it received wonderful reviews. And I have Chella pages of reviews that I read on that book. It was just, yeah. And now this new book. Go ahead, Chella.
Oh, I was going to say about Hearts Forged in Resistance.
Yeah.
One thing I was so proud of is do you know Robin Gowan, the artist?
Yeah. Yeah.
She did the cover. I took the photograph of the sunflower, and then she painted it. I just love that it's, covers sell books. And then on the back, I had a blurb by Alicia Ostraker. And if you're in academics or poetry, she is a leading voice. She had a seminal work, Stealing the Language, about 30 years ago, and she's got national book awards. And that just thrilled me. That book, Hearts Forged in Resistance, is so close to my heart. I love it. Love it. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yes, no, I was reading, for example, like I said, the reviews, but this Alicia Ostriker, Waiting for the Light and Volcano and After, New York State Poet Laureate, gave an incredible review herself, as you mentioned, about the book. But we're here to talk about the new book, and that is Janet Hall. And Janet Hall, first of all, that also is getting, I checked out all the reviews that are happening on Amazon and the postings. For example, I finished reading Janet Hall last night. One will experience a range of emotions from love and grief and the limitations of every emotion. I loved it. A must-have read if you ever loved. That's one review. If you've ever loved and tragically lost somebody, Janet Hall drinks a lot of bourbon, but ... This is a most haunting and hauntingly beautiful novel, is another review on Amazon. So I want to just give a little précis of what the book's all about. It's set against the backdrop of a small southern town, and it captures the ambience and social dynamics of that unique world. The novel by Chella delves into one woman's love, guilt, and regrets in the face of unbearable tragedy, and does it with unflinching honesty. That is a review by Cheryl Woods, New York Times bestselling author of Sweet Magnolia series. But now, just to give us a little bit of background on the book, it's a novel of love, guilt, family, manners, bourbon, friendship, and redemption. Jacob and Janet have a 49-year affair. They start off having loved each other in high school, and they were, they become married to other people, but they still jump in and out of each other's beds. Jacob's remarried with twin girls, and they still have a tumultuous relationship and a mutual passion. And what they have in common is the love for the written word. Jacob is a writer, and he's full of early success, and Janet is his ideal reader. And anyone who's ever written anything knows that there's somebody out there that that you have read your book a number of times, or many people that you're close to, for their insights. And everybody's got different insights. on your early book, but Janet is Jacob's ideal reader, and she actually reads everything he writes and holds his hand throughout the writing process, and then gets sick of it. Then
Right.
gets sick of holding his hand, and I won't give away the ending because I ordered the book
Oh.
and I want to
Oh,
read
thank
it
you.
myself.
Thank you. Thank you. I need to give a shout out to Claudia. She was a fabulous early reader in this book, and she read several versions. You do, you're right. You have readers out there. Robin, the artist, is also a writer. She was an early reader. Um, oh, David Borofka was an early reader. So you do, that's the process, because you want to get these responses because it gives you an idea of how to revise. This, became much stronger after getting these readings from these early readers.
I gotta say, Chella, I wrote a book, No Thanks, Mom, the top 10 things your kids don't want. And it has to do with stuff that my generation is trying to give to their kids' generation. So,
Right.
People 50, 60 years old trying to give stuff to 20, 30 year olds, and it's just
You
not
have this
working.
stuff
And
too.
so I had my son as an early reader of that, and basically he's like, I think I hate this book. It's got me in it. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's a fictional you. It's not you. But he said, but it is me. I said, but it's not you. It's a combination. It's very interesting how people see that, huh, Chella?
It is because, they always want to know what is the autobiographic truth behind the fictional character. And I've kind of gone into that because I'm doing some things on TikTok and Instagram and the social media. Um, but like for Jacob, I had an acquaintance. Unknown caller. Oh God, who is that? Me or probably me? And where's the friggin' phone? Oh, there it is. Thought I had that off. Sorry,
So you had an
I'm
acquaintance that
on
was,
air. Bye. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I should have cut that off. But as I was saying, that there are readers always looking for the autobiographic self, and with Jacob was based on in the novel. He was based on a young writer whom I knew casually who died suddenly, and that death, it really struck me, and it was very tragic to me. I'd read his works. He'd been up for a National Book Award. We spent a wonderful afternoon together. He was from the South. Um, so he becomes kind of a model for Jacob. And then when I was in college, I dated a cool graduate school writer, and he had red hair and a red beard, and he drove a Harley, and it reminded me of Ernest Hemingway, and I was just head over heels. So he becomes both of these guys sort of fold into Jacob. Um, and they were kind of the inspiration. Janet is a lot of me. It's fictional, but it's a lot of me.
yeah.
That too. So all of Mike is based on my dear sweet brother who is living in North Alabama, who is a um, Republican. I doubt he wears a MAGA hat because he'd be afraid it would mess up his hair. But when we were young, he was just the best big brother that any little girl could have. He would take me with him when he'd have a date and they'd go to the drive-in. I was probably some sort of chaperone, but still, so all of these characters, though they're fictional, there's a lot of connection and truth for myself to people I've known. And this wonderful Aunt Grace in the novel is based pretty much on a very influential woman in my life who lived down the street. She was the mother of my best friends at the time. And then I grew up in Albertville, Alabama, which is Appalachian, North Alabama, the the heaviest red state, and that county is the heaviest red county. Um, and Mary, who is sort of a model for Aunt Grace, was a liberal. God, how would you find them in Albertville? But she had a great influence on me.
You know, Richard, I want to go to quick break because I want 2 seconds when we get back. I would like to switch over to Claudia's actors in a minute, but I have one question for Chella when we get back from the break.
Okay.
So Chella, hang on for a minute while we go to quick
Okay.
break. All right, be right back.
It's always a great time to drive a truck.
All
And
right,
right
you're
now,
clear.
family owned and operated Rio Vista Chevrolet has a vehicle for you. With a wide variety of new and pre owned vehicles, we're one of the largest truck and commercial fleet dealers on the Central Coast. And if we don't have it, we'll get it for you. That's the Rio Vista way. We offer free delivery anywhere in California.
You know, I just jumped out of bed and put on my clothes, knowing that it was going to just be audio and no video, but I'm glad to have an audience.
Well, it's not live. Okay. It is just used for Elizabeth's purposes for this program so that we can see and so forth. That's the main purpose of it.
Well, I'm glad at least I washed my face.
Okay, we are coming back. In 3, 2, 1, you are live.
Back, it's Elizabeth Stewart, and I have the great pleasure of talking with Chella Courington, who's written a new book called Janet Hall, which I ordered yesterday, and I can't wait to get my teeth into. And you know, the last time we spoke, we were talking about Southern writers, Chella, and you launched me off into quite a saga, and I've been reading a lot of Southern writers, and the Southern writers that have been enamored of styles and recommended other writers. So
Right.
it's just finished Walker Percy's The Moviegoer.
Oh,
and
I love that.
and then I just did Love in the Ruins by him.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the voice. And then he liked an author, Alice McDermott, I think. Oh no, somebody who taught Walker Percy recommended also, if you like Walker Percy, you'll love Alice McDermott. So I just been through Charming Billy and The Ninth Hour by her. And I just have to say your Janet Hall is going to join those two as my next favorite author. So I just wanted to let you know that I look forward to receiving Janet Hall, and people that are interested in Janet Hall. This is what is so interesting about some of the books that Chella has written in the past. There's a common theme in a funny way, and I maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself, Chella, but the common theme is sort of overcoming an obstacle, overcoming something, overcoming.
Right. And it's usually a woman's journey. Like, Janet Hall is amidst passion and guilt and grief and bourbon and redemption, you name it, that Janet Hall is the story of one woman's coming of age. And
Can't wait.
And
can't
it's
wait.
almost considered a historic novel because it moves through from the present to the past, back and forth. So they meet in high school in the early 70s, but the present story is taking place 2019, 4 days in 2019. And I
So,
do
yeah,
want to add too that the Kirkus Review, which is a highly recommended review among writers and
yes.
readers.
By the way, I have a quote from that right here, and I
Oh,
think
great.
so. Kirkus Review calls Janet Hall an affectingly melancholic work laced with insights and communicated in quietly meditative prose, a deeply moving family tale written in a smoothly poetic style. And you know, Chella, can we have you back on the air when we've got a little more time? And I want to have a show with you talking about the Southern novel. I think that
I
would
would
be a
want
really
to. I would
yeah.
love to.
Let's do that. Let's
Stay
table
in
that.
touch and let me know, because I would like to talk about that and where I see my place.
Yes.
Several
Yes.
of the blurb on the back compares me to a couple of the Southern women writers, and wonderful. But I did want to add that Janet Hall is being turned into an audiobook.
All right.
And they will start. We auditioned. They have to be credentialed with AXE, and we auditioned 4 people, and we picked one that to me had the closest accent without being over the top. That's usually the
Excellent.
problem.
Excellent.
So
Well,
maybe
Richard,
that would be a good time for me to return to the show.
yes, keep my email and let me know when that happens, because we'll do little bits from the audiobook
Yeah,
on the show.
yeah.
And we have to go to another quick break. Richard, let's go to another quick break, and then we're going to introduce all of our thespians that are with us today. Chella, thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
We'll talk
It's been delightful.
Okay, Richard, let's go to quick break.
All right, you're clear. All right. Okay. Oh, shoot. I don't have that one ready yet. There it is. Two. All right, let's hope that's the case.
So I have
Yes, okay.
this, it's nuts this morning with I was over there. I got the water company over there.
Do I still have that
I
here?
have dermatology appointment at 2.
Oh.
So if you could watch.
So following this, we only have one more break, Elizabeth,
good.
before the final segment.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. You are live.
Welcome back. It's Elizabeth Stewart. Claudia McGarry is here, and we're doing a whole festival of her plays, her own plays. And gosh, this is kind of exciting because I've covered a number of these. So let's see. Let me introduce Claudia first. She, you may know her. She taught English for 35 years at SBCC. She raised 3 kids here in Santa Barbara, one of which has been on my program, is super talented. Some of my family's in the film industry. She writes me, and she sold her first romantic comedy screenplay with her writing partner recently. And she's a novelist with 2 thrillers and a memoir to her credit, 16 feature screenplays, 4 pilots, 8 plays. And this coming Sunday, put this on your calendar, her festival features 3 plays, 2 of which we've seen or have previewed here in Santa Barbara. The new play, Sisters, is her most experimental. The show is all day Sunday from 12:30 to 8. Inexpensive, $18 for seniors and students, $22 per show. Starts at 12:30 with A Coma Kind of Love. 3 o'clock is Sisters. 4 o'clock is Dance Me to the End, and 7 o'clock is Sisters. So I want to introduce it. There's Claudia there at the bottom. Hi, Claudia. Congratulations on a whole day of plays by you.
Thank you. I'm
And
really
would you introduce, let's see, we've got a number of your actors with us today. So will you introduce, and I have everybody's bio, by the way, introduce who's with us and who they play.
okay. So why don't I start with Elizabeth Flanagan, and she has two parts, or maybe three actually. She plays the daughter in Dance Me to the End, who has a few contentious conversations with her mom. And then she also plays a New York voice in that same play. I'm sorry, it's really hard to keep track of them all in my head. And then she also plays the mother in Sisters, and she has a monologue in that. Do you want me to go one by one, all of them, or do you want to do?
Go ahead. And yeah, I'd like to know who everybody plays.
Okay. And then Peter Rojas is he was a colleague of mine at City College. He taught math, and we shared mailboxes near each other. So we kind of got to know each other, and he's acted in a number of my plays. He was in few renditions of Kiddo, and he plays Dr. Ginto in A Coma Kind of Love, which last year was called I Can Hear You, Damn It, about the coma patient that hears everybody and no one thinks she can hear them. But the new
Peter-
version, and the reason for the new title, is because it's more of a rom-com now.
So Peter was on the show
Yeah.
when you did A Coma Kind of Love. I Can Hear You, Damn It. That he was on the show,
Year
and I
ago.
remember teasing him that he was a math person that actually was also an artist, because I can't put those two together for the life of me, Peter. So yeah, and so and we have Vandana. Who does Vandana play?
So Vandana is in also the play Dance Me to the End, which used to be called Breaking the Code. And I put that on 3 or 4 years ago, I'm not sure, at Center Stage and at Namba in Ventura. And she plays the Pakistani mom of our lead male character, played by Ambi Harsha. And he's in love with Victoria Charters, who plays a 50-year-old playwright who's American. And the mother, Jumila, who Vandana plays, has trouble. Well, we think she's going to have trouble with the relationship, but it turns out, you'll see, it's a surprise. So
Yeah, I remember looking into that, and yes, it's delightful and fantastic. So we've got, let's see, Victoria. Who does Victoria play?
Victoria, I'll just let you talk.
Okay. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, everyone.
Eh.
I play Christy in Dance Me to the End, and then I'm narrating A Coma Kind of Love. And I'm happy to fill in if there's an emergency for any.
And Linnell, who do you play?
I'm the narrator for both Sisters and Dance Me to the End.
Okay. Okay.
But there's a special surprise with Linnell that happens in her character in Sisters. She's actually more than just the narrator. Elizabeth, you'll have to come and see it.
I definitely do have to come see it. Let me just do a little background for everybody here. Victoria Charters, she's an actor and award-winning filmmaker. She's participated in at least 4 of Claudia's plays. She directed the feature-length documentary, Dr. Megavolt, From Geek to Superhero. The film won Best Documentary of Angels Women's Film Festival and Best of Festival, Lady Filmmakers Festival. Her past narrative short films include I Heard the Mermaid Singing, Best Narrative Short, Great Lakes Independent Film Festival, Silver Medal for Excellence, Park City Film Music Festival, and boy, credits go on. I just mentioned a few. Her credits: American Maya, a horror screenplay, won an international finalist New York Horror Competition. Fulfillment was a half-hour comedy pilot. Ranketeer was a dramatic screenplay performed at New Collective Los Angeles. She's an alumnus of the University of Melbourne and the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. How interesting is that? Is it the Melbourne?
Melbourne, Australia. Yes.
Yeah, right. Fantastic. Victoria resides here in Santa Barbara with her family, and all this wonderful credits to her name. Linnell writes me that she's new to the Claudia Hoag McGarry vessel, and she's an
No,
actress.
verse.
Oh,
It's like
Claudia
it's like
verse.
Marvel verse. This is Claudia McGarry verse.
I see. Okay, I see. That's right. She's an actor with a resume focused in the film industry as opposed to live theater, but she's excited to work with Claudia in the context of live stage reading, and then became suddenly massively interested in what she says the life-giving excitement of being on stage. So she hopes everybody's going to show up at center stage where, this particular day festival is going to be presented. And so let's see. And then, of course, Elizabeth, I know Elizabeth Flanagan very, very well because of all of her good work as president of the Goleta Valley Arts Association. And then I didn't know this, but she came back to adult education for acting for older adults program, and she has fallen in love with acting. And it's so interesting. She's appeared in 8 productions in the last 2 years. And she sent me her resume, which is really impressive because I know her as an artist, a visual artist. And I had such good fun reading her all of her trainings and workshops and the kind of plays that she's performed in already in this short career as a performance artist. So she's thrilled to be making her debut with Center Stage Theater. And I find it so interesting because I remember when I first met Elizabeth, we were getting on a plane or getting off planes as we were going to New York City. She was a New York resident for years, and my family's in New York. And I remember I said something about I'm going to visit my mom in New York City. And I remember Elizabeth talking about her mom those many years ago. And here she is performing as a mother. Is that correct, Elizabeth?
Yes, in the sisters play, I'm a mother. In the Dance Me play, I'm a daughter. So there I get to play both roles, which is that's what's wonderful about live theater and working with Claudia. We've got a range of things we're all doing here. So yeah.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see you because I know your visual work is so compelling. Yes, yeah, so it's
I was
Vandana?
excited to be here again this morning because I already had a connection with you. So great.
Yes, indeed. Vandana Kari is she was a child performer as a teenager in India, and as a young age she was a radio artist and did plays at the local radio station in India. After she moved to the United States, she raised 2 kids, and she picked up the acting bug through the City College Extended Learning Program called Urge to Act. And she's appearing in 3 plays in December. And this is a first time working with Claudia. She's also a visual artist, a landscape artist, Indian-born master's in business at the University of Allahabad. Am I saying that right, Vandana?
Allahabad.
And as you say, and she's already worked with Claudia once before, I think. Have you not?
No, this is my first time.
Your first time?
Yes, then actually Elizabeth, I know Elizabeth because I'm in her art association, and she's a wonderful person anyway too. So then she's the one who suggested my name to Claudia, and the role fits perfect for me. Have that background, India and Pakistan was one before many years ago, the same country. I am very familiar with their culture, their Muslim culture and everything. So when she sent me a little snippet of the script, and I thought, wow, this is perfect. I can easily do this.
And Shelley, tell me a little bit about you.
I've been in Santa Barbara for about 33 years. I have a 31-year-old son and a 1.5-year-old grandchild. I do accounting and taxes by day, and I love acting. So Claudia was kind enough to put me in a few of her her shows. So I'm now Amy in A Coma Kind of Love in this round.
What's so
And
interesting, Elizabeth, is Shelley played Christy when we did Breaking the Code, and now Victoria's playing Christy, and now Shelley's got a brand new role that's pretty big in A Coma Kind of Love. So I'm so indebted to all of my actors because of their loyalty and the time that they take. So.
And Peter, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you mentioned, I met Claudia at City College, and I retired from there 2 years ago and just continued developing my interest in acting. And I'm in the same class as Vandana and Elizabeth, and we all work on projects together.
Yeah.
I've just recently done a couple of commercials down in Los Angeles, and I'm going to be appearing in Michael Jackson's movie that comes out in 2025. It's a biopic, and I'm a background actor in the movie. And and then I dance with Alexandra King and the UCSB Middle Eastern Ensemble. We have a performance this weekend. So I just started taking up Middle Eastern dancing, and it keeps me on my toes, so to speak.
Oh, interesting. This is one thing as I told you, I've known Elizabeth Flanagan for years, and this is the first time I saw her resume as an actor. And she mentions in the resume, and I want to get everybody's opinion on this, that she does group improvisations, and in 2023, she did Sunday morning improv with Cora Danielson. My sister is a SAG actor and, card carrying actor in New York and Chicago. And she swears by improv. She really loves it. And she hones her skills, even though she's a very experienced performance artist, she continues with improv. And I want to know what that means to you guys. If you've done it, what you think of improv. Does it hone your skills? Let's see. Peter, tell me, do you do improv?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask. I am really uncomfortable with improvisation because there's a part of me that likes to have things structured, rehearsed, and perfected. So you give me a script and I'll escape into the character with the lines given to me. But if you ask me to create a scene on my own, I just stumble over my words and it's like freeze. There you go.
Okay, well, all right, Elizabeth Flanagan, since you've done it, tell me, what has it helped your career?
Yeah, well, it helped me a lot in that I've learned to trust my own instincts better, because you're up there and it's in the moment, and you're usually working with somebody else or a group of other people. So it's the premise of it is yes, and so you take what comes at you and you build on it. So then you learn to trust your own instincts with that. So that's been good for me. But like Peter, I prefer acting and scripted. I prefer that because you get to develop a character and you get to live in that character and learn something from that. So I actually prefer scripted plays. But the improv has been good for me, just to teach me to loosen up, to trust myself, to trust other people, to trust other actors.
Linnell, oh, go ahead, Claudia.
I was just going to say this morning when they do their brief scenes, it was almost like improv, because I literally told them about 10 minutes before we came on what scene they're going to be doing for you. So it was kind of almost improv. So
is it, that's actually, maybe we should listen to some of those short performances, but I just have to ask Linnell, because I'm catching her incredibly interesting voice. Have you done any improv, Linnell?
Yeah, plenty of it. I think that it's, I used to work with the Groundlings, and it's not like I wanted to ever be on SNL, so I didn't continue with my education there. It was going a different direction. But improv on its own, and with every place I've ever studied, is massively important. It's prime. it's primary understanding and trusting, like the others were saying, to trusting myself. And I don't need to trust anyone else. I can just trust myself to know that whatever happens, it's a great life exercise, as well as an opportunity to stay in the present at all times. And only to stay in the present is the way acting becomes something that an audience can really connect with if you're right there. And so I think that if no matter where I ever study or whoever I ever work with, if we have an opportunity to just take a script and improvise from the script for the first few rehearsals so that we know better who we are as the character and who the other people are as the people in our acting community, then we produce a better, more live product for our audience, whether it's film or stage.
Well, okay, so Richard's giving us a sign. We have to go to a quick break in a couple of minutes, but before we do, I want to throw this out. So my background is ballet, and I trained in a Balanchine company, which means that there is what the director says is the last word. You do not get to question. You are doing exactly the dance that the artistic director is coaching you to do, because it was first, well, we call it made on. It was first made by George Balanchine. So you don't question it. Now, my sister tells me, who's an actor, that there are some directors, and I want to direct this to Claudia's cast. There are some directors that say, this is the way it's got to be. And then some directors say, okay, play with it. And I trust you actors to come up with what the final thing is going to look like. Which one of those is Claudia? Does anyone want to kind of jump in and answer that?
Well, I mean, Claudia is incredibly prolific as a writer, and she comes up with a lot of interesting characters and a lot of dialogue. So I think that primarily she's interested in hearing what the words that she's imagined in her head sound like when, they come out of a live person. So I would say that it's mostly what is scripted, but she's very, very flexible in terms of changing, because sometimes things in your head are different once you put them on a page and once someone picks up that page and speaks those words. But I too think improv is really important. There's a great group in town, Santa Barbara Improv, and they have many long form, short form. There's an open workshop on Wednesday evenings where anybody can go. It doesn't matter if you have experience or not. And they've been active in town for many years, and I did a number of years with them, but then I got distracted with other activities. But highly recommend Santa Barbara Improv.
Excellent. So Richard, let's go to quick break. When we get back from the break, I would like Claudia to introduce some of the dialogues and monologues that we're going to listen to at the very. Okay, so it's quick break, and then we will do some actual readings. Don't turn that down.
All right, folks are clear.
You turn your phone off.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You want to send a chat?
Can we do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
okay.
send just
Yeah,
directly to
yes.
Shelley.
Well, no, I mean, can we write all of them, or
Yeah,
so that they
everyone.
all see it? Yeah. Okay, so you can just say we're going to do Victoria and Elizabeth are first.
Okay.
And so we are going to have Richard. How much time do we have?
Well, let me see here. 45, 46, 47, 48. We will have 7 minutes.
And are we going to have any breaks?
No, the last one
Okay.
is we're done with the program. So the next, let me rephrase that. No more
Okay,
breaks.
so-
the next time I give you the 2 and the 1, we're wrapping it up.
Okay, so then can we do what we're going to do in 7 minutes, guys? Do you think?
I think so, because I picked
Okay.
very short parts. Yeah.
Okay, so introduce and then we'll run with it, so you can get them. Yeah. get them in time.
Yeah, that's it. That's a ticket. Fun program, I got to tell you. No, I like the music. Matter of fact, I was actually intrigued. I interviewed a gentleman, totally blind gentleman, who actually walked the entire Appalachian Trail. This goes back to the late 1990s, early 2000s.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible. And also interviewed, and it might have been the same gentleman, could have been a different one, who actually totally blind, who scaled to the summit, Mount Everest. And he wrote a book about it. That's why I had him on the program. It's very cool. But the Appalachian Trail has some of the most incredible history. Okay, we're coming back. It's 48 past the hour, and no more breaks. And you're live. 3, 2, 1. You are live.
Welcome back. It's Elizabeth Stewart. Great pleasure in interviewing Claudia McGarry. And this is really exciting for me because I've interviewed Claudia along the way. She's a playwright in town and an author. And this is a festival which starts at 12:30 this Sunday and goes on till, well, the last performance starts at 7. We're featuring 3 of Claudia. This is a festival of Claudia's plays. We're featuring 3 of Claudia's plays. Starting at 12:30, A Coma Kind of Love, then Sisters, and then Dance Me to the End, and a reprise of Sisters at 7. Very exciting because we get to celebrate and look at the vast range of material that Claudia has done. She's going to introduce some of her actors in some monologues now. Claudia, go ahead.
Okay, so the first 2 that we'll have are Victoria and Elizabeth, and they're from a scene from Dance Me to the End. So I'll just let them take it.
All right, we'll start.
Oh, Christy is resting, eyes closed, her head down on her dining room table.
Gee, Mom, every time I walk in the door, you're napping, for Christ's sake. Are you okay? And your socks don't match.
We need to talk. You've been gone so much moving stuff, and we need to just have a talk.
Yeah, we sort of do. I have something I need to say out loud to you. I'm
Pregnant.
gay. I know.
I know.
You are? I mean, you do? I mean, I thought it might be the case because you're tired all the time and you've been having brain fog sometimes.
I have known about you, I mean, for a long time. I just waited for you to be ready to tell me. I hope that was the right thing to do. I didn't want to ask because in case I was wrong, well, I wouldn't want to have offended you. Parents never are sure what is right or wrong to say. Of course, it doesn't matter to me. I love you.
That's it. So,
Oh, that's it? Okay. Good. Thank you.
Very
Next one.
good. And what's going on in that scene?
Oh, it's a mother and daughter, and it's built. This is kind of in the middle of the scene, but the daughter is I like the character because she's like very mouthy with her mother, and she's kind of she's like a parent kind of mother daughter type thing. And then the mother, they have information they haven't given each other, so now they're both blurting it out at the same time, and they love each other, but there's changes in their lives. That's what I have from it. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, Claudia, what's the next one?
Okay, the next one is Vandana, who's playing Jamila, and it's a shorter piece because we don't have Motaz here, but it's the mother who is having an intense conversation with her son. Jamila, she's Jamila.
I just wish you had told me. All these dinners with young women, and all along you were pretending to be interested? I don't understand, Motaz. You showed me disrespect. And what of all the time I spent arranging these dates? Not to mention all the cooking and expense. What a waste of my time.
Perfect. So you get the gist of Jamila. And and Mota's not here, but they have a big revealing conversation towards the end of the story. And then I have Peter and Shelley. Peter is the doctor in A Coma Kind of Love, and Shelley is the daughter of the coma patient. So did you get my information about it? Okay, you want to start? Peter?
A coma rarely lasts more than 2 to 4 weeks. Some, however, remain in a vegetative state for longer.
My God, Mom, can you hear us? You were dead. Dead for 4 minutes. What is going on? You have to hear us. What did you not tell us about your health? Robert, say something. You have to come out of this coma and come back to us soon.
Great. So again, I picked a real short part because Robert, the brother, is not with us, but Peter, being the doctor, has a lot to say about this coma, and Amy is very close to her mother, played by Shelley. So they have an intense kind of conversation. And then we'll go to Linnell, which I'm so excited to have Linnell do this part because it's kind of experimental. She's our narrator, but then like in the 80th hour, I decided to make her more of a character in the play. So she's
very quickly now.
Okay,
yeah, go ahead, Linnell.
Okay, so look, I know we don't have much time, so I'm just going to tell you what's going on. Okay, I am so frustrated. See, I'm a writer. Not that I ever wanted to be. I just am. And I have a sister, and I have friends who have sisters, and there's always this thing. I don't even know what to call it. It's like anger, love, protectiveness, anger, and these two, and they're not even here. So I'm just going to wait. You have to come to the production so you can see what I'm talking about and see what I'm a writer. My integrity is up for question. So be there Sunday and we can work through this together.
Excellent.
Thank God I have ink in my pen.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll see you all Sunday. Very exciting. Claudia McGarry and a whole day of her plays.
Thanks so much.
Center Stage Theater. See you there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Great experience.
Sorry for the confusing signals there. I got a little haywire on a couple of clocks. You're perfect, right on the money.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Bye.
Leave.
Well, thanks.
Oh, you are very welcome. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And I know she'll have you back.
Oh, I hope so.